And that is Jeje from the trio, Sarkodie, Mr. Drew, and the man Creamy. Welcome back. It's Healthy Morning Live on HSTV, and it's about time we have our omnibus conversation I told you about earlier. We're going to have a conversation on DNA, its psychological and emotional factor. Should you decide to venture into one? There are case in points here in Ghana where we have one who even went to do that many years after got to discover that 4 of his kids are not his. How did he endure that conversation? But before that, the man we're going to talk to happens to be a man that is of many parts. He is well vested in security analysis and all that. So we'll have that conversation about churches. Yesterday there was a story about Ghana Pentecostal Council urging its members and associates to adhere to what the Ministry of National Security put out with respect to deploying personal security systems and, of course, having in there some CCTV cameras to also safeguard themselves of the terrorist attack that has been imminent in this West African sub-region and even some part of our neighboring countries around us. So it's key that we have that quick conversation on that, and then we'll delve into that. But before that, there was a message on Facebook that Osei David GH sends to us. It says, "Good morning. You guys are looking amazing. I love your outfits." Thank you very much for that compliment. You can also join us on Facebook. It's HSTV Live. You can add your comments over there. Alternatively, you can send your messages to the WhatsApp line, which is on your screen. The right-hand corner is in blue. So send any of the thoughts and comments that you have regarding what we're going to discuss here today. So I'm going to do this with my co-host Stephanie Georgina Mayana, and please welcome our counselor and a security analyst and is everything, Apostle Thomas Kusi-Appiah. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Diego.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great.
Pleasure to meet you for the first time.
Yeah, right.
I hear you are not a stranger to the screen here.
All right, but
so,
I think this is the first time meeting you. So
yeah,
but with Stephanie, I think
we
are regular partners.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
I'm his favorite daughter.
I see.
Yeah.
So she's shining off her color to both of us since we are not.
I'm giving you lights.
Thank you very much. I appreciate
it.
But how's church? How is family?
But by the grace of God, yeah, doing well. And I'd want to also add that my wife is a regular. I mean, your number one supporter. In fact, she likes you people a lot.
Oh, thanks. What's her name, please?
Lydia Kusi-Appiah.
Oh, Mama Lydia. Mama Lydia.
I wished her happy birthday some time ago.
Oh, she was the one. Oh, okay. Mama Lydia, good morning to you. Thanks for the support. We appreciate that. All right, and okay, so let's get into our conversation. In recent times, there's been some security threats in our neighboring countries, and especially in the West African sub-region, and then it's hard to do with the threats from some Islamic group, the jihadists, the Al-Qaedas, and ISIS, and all those people. And they've already attacked some African countries around us, Burkina Faso in recent times, and then the latest one was in Togo, where about 8 people died, 13 people got injured and all. And since then, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of National Security have all been alerting us with respect to being careful, because the recent one from Ministry of Foreign Affairs has to do with the Gao region somewhere in Burkina Faso, Mali rather, where some Christians were arrested, including some Ghanaians, and so they were asking us not to even travel to that area. The one that has to do with the churches that came from the Ministry of National Security was that the churches should deploy personal security as well as CCTV cameras, which was being reiterated yesterday by the Ghana Pentecostal Council. You being an apostle and being in the religious fraternity, what is your take on what is happening in West Africa, and of course with respect to the letter that came from the ministry?
All right, so dear Drew, Stephen, let me say a very good morning to cherished viewers of HSTV. I see, apparently when this issue came up, I think the letter was written somewhere on the 12th, and I think we got it on the 14th, okay. So we read it, and I also had the opportunity to speak on it on other platforms. And I think one thing I said was the issues they raised and the kind of things they're expecting the churches to do. Personally, to me, if you understand security, security is a shared responsibility. So it was in line for the National Security Minister to come up with this kind of thing. But those things are, to me, normal things. Most of these churches, are you now going to tell ICGC Papadan Carnation Chapel to put CCTV. They already have it. Yeah. I mean, most of the churches, they have it already. Yeah. Most of the churches have their own personal securities already. Now, so one thing I said, or one thing that we need to do, which can sometimes sometimes when I'm speaking about security, because I have a personal relationship with them, we do trainings for them. So sometimes when you're speaking, you also know the challenges they are going through. But the truth is, sometimes it's very unfortunate when you know the right thing to do, yet you decide not to do it, and you're trying to push or shift the kind of the whole discussion to churches. The question is, when it comes to security, we have people who are mandated to provide security for us, right? Yeah. Like I said, security is a shared responsibility. So I always tell people, security starts from your doorstep, where you need to provide personal security. But that notwithstanding, we have counter-terrorism unit in Ghana. Yes. Ask yourself, how many churches have they visited to even render education to them?
That's key.
I'm getting it. Because you are those people who are trained with the security knowledge, you understand how to even detect a terrorist.
True.
Right, if I should put you on the stop and tell me, when you see somebody, what are the things you can use to identify that this person is a terrorist? Even you on TV right now to be a problem. So we need to start from a better place. What about the CCTV, which is already in use? What's the use of CCTV? The ushers standing at the door, where you see, unfortunately, our ushers are trained to be like receptionists. They just direct you to your seat. Are they trained to even identify people that look, looking at how bulky you are? Because if I look at you, it looks like it's not normal. Based on they cannot walk you to somewhere and maybe look so that we can search you. Are they even trained to detect terrorists? No. So we need to start from somewhere better. Not asking churches to provide CCTV. I also now went away to even speak on this. I remember I was on national television somewhere, and the issue was raised that where in Ghana the place that we have better security is our Jubilee House. And I said that one of the places that security is very poor is Jubilee House. Unfortunately. Oh yes, I've been there, and you see a security police personnel waving at someone who is driving into the Jubilee House because he knows him. You see, I always tell people, security, when security starts, trust is down. Security and trust have inverse relationship. True. You cannot provide security when you trust people so much. You understand? The idea is you give people the benefit of the doubt. But you know, when you understand security well, you understand that when people, let's say, terrorists want to enter here, they will not use officers, they come from members. They will use people who have higher trust, like the manager or the director of GBC. Those are the people they will target. How they can kidnap your daughter or somebody dear to you, and now blackmail you with it and say, okay, carry this weapons or carry this item to your vicinity. If you don't do that, we are going to kill your daughter. So they can put all these things in his car. Now this person gets to the gate. Our security, like I said, it's part of our culture. We trust people so much. Can you imagine a director of GBC gets to the gate there? Which of the security they have the money to say, I'm going to search your car? So whenever you want to now, if you want to embark on this, then we need to now train our people well. Everywhere, not only the churches. Are you getting it? Train people to understand
that. The church
that
was cited because of the lot of gathering that happens.
What about the mosque? Because
so the churches and the
no, there was a mosque.
The malls.
If you go to Kenya, you can't even enter the mall without you being searched.
Yeah, the Westgate Mall. That's where we live.
And a lot of places.
I will know.
We need to know. Ghana, we are so. I don't know whether you are saying we are lazy or what. When it comes to security, so lazy. Because I don't know whether we've not had issue with this now, or we are waiting for us to be attacked before we sit up. I don't know if that's what we are doing, but we know what to do. Are you getting it? So my suggestion to them, so I was saying, let's train everybody to be alert. Let's inform our big men to know that if we want to ensure proper security, then we shouldn't trust anybody. So even you, the big man, when you get to the gate, we are going to search you. That's what.
So you mentioned the letter wasn't enough. You're expecting that at least they will send the counter-terrorism attack unit or something to come to the churches.
They are there in the offices.
Educate.
They are sitting in the offices. They're wearing bulletproof, sitting in an office.
You mentioned they coming to the church at least to even take 5-10 minutes to do a bit of education and all to maybe the security services or even the entire church.
And even the ushers.
Training the ushers. How to identify terrorists. How to even now liaise with them. That right now, unfortunately, if a terrorist should come here right now, which number are you going to call?
999.
Which 999?
No, that's the latest. Say something. Say something.
Now watch it. Now watch it. And that is another sad thing. We were here when just a week ago I had an opportunity to also speak on it. That the Ghana National Fire Service, Ambulance Service, Police Service came up to say that a day when you put all of it together, they receive over 10,000 prank calls 10,000 prank call. And unfortunate for us, a country which doesn't care about its security, we don't even have consoles that can detect numbers of people calling.
Oh, I think recently there was a call that they're going to trace.
Yeah, so can I ask the Minister of
I'm saying that currently, so that word is future tense.
Okay.
Look at currently.
Okay.
How long?
Maybe the national security has deployed that already.
Which one? I'm telling you, as we speak now, I'm saying that let's even start for Ghana's national service. Ghana National Fire Service, which is one of them. I mean, and you see, all of these people are put under the national security.
Yes.
So the consoles that they have, they are not just working for, let's say, national fire service or ambulance service. They are also working for national security. And you have a say where the console can only detect a call. I mean, that they receive actually to detect a prank call and a normal call. That's all. They cannot even know whether the person who called is Stephanie or Diego. No. Now, see, when you go to a civilized world, where countries where they think about the security of their people, do you know that when you are attacked right now and you call 911 and if you don't speak, the moment your number goes there, they are able to detect
where you
are. Come and save you. So when you are under attack, all that you need just to call them, you can follow up. What we have now, even with fire service, assuming you call and once you are speaking, your credit is finished, your house is burning, they can't even know who called. They can't even follow up on it.
Our GPS service, they claim they...
No, they tell you the number. That's the first problem.
Okay.
The call that can detect
the number is another.
This number, let's say 024-945. They can't even detect the number in the first place. Two. The big problem too is they have only 2 centers. Fire service and they have 2 centers, Kumasi and Accra, and they can pay 5 calls at a time. And these are the people who have received over 10,000 prank calls. So assuming you have issue right now, there's fire outbreak here, and you are calling, and you have 10 people already on the line speaking, which happens to be prank calls. Whilst you are calling, they have already taken your time, and your house is burning.
Yeah.
Any civilized country gets a better console where they can detect all this prank. And do you know it's a criminal offense to call public of tell them you have issue? You know, lying to a public is a crime. So why are we not prosecuting some of these people? You don't think our security. No, I tell you that our security is like a cow dung. Look at. When you look at the outer cover, it look dry, but the down is so. That's our security. It looks like we are working, but unfortunately, we have a big problem with our security.
Well, per the conversations I'm gathering, Ghanaians have a good relationship with the Muslim divide. You know, I mentioned from the onset the premise that it's usually when they realize that the country of some sort has a this kind of they look down on certain Muslim sects in the country, then it become an attack for them. Here, according to even the chief imam who spoke on this terrorist issue, he says he's happy that there's a good relationship with him and then other Christians here in Ghana, so we live peaceably together. Hence, he doesn't even believe that there could be a possibility of we being attacked. Do you think otherwise?
The intelligence available now, and that's why maybe the National Security Minister came to alert Christians. He announced that Christians are under attack. Now, the reason is one of the intelligence that was indicated that they've agreed that by 2030 they are going to make West African countries, all West African countries, a Muslim community. So unfortunately for us,
that I heard some years ago.
The imam, the chief imam can say, because like he's speaking, as we say, internally. But this one is an external force. The intelligence didn't say that Ghanaian Muslim communities are planning. No, these are people outside, and they have extremist ideology. Are you getting? So he can say that at least to give us that hope. Unfortunately for us, it's not coming from them. Where he can even speak, like more unfortunately, he doesn't even know those who are planning this. So it's something that we should all be alert. In fact, it's not something we can just look at person, because don't forget, some of these people have even ended up attacking Muslims. So it's all So these people can even come and attack Muslims, because when you don't believe in their ideology, you are seen as an enemy. That's the unfortunate thing. So that the national chief imam himself can even be under attack. Because like you don't believe in our ideology. That's what we call the extremists. They've moved beyond the faith. And they have weird ideas about Islamic. That's why sometimes when it happens that some Muslims come out to say these people are not Muslims. They try to distance themselves from them. So it's not something we can just take the national chief imam word for. Because like I said, if this or the intelligence indicator that this account for Ghanaians, they can call on him. He being the leader can say, okay, speak to your people. But unfortunately, it's not coming from them.
Let me tap on your security instinct a bit. Do you think we are threats? As in Ghana?
Of course, like I said, when you understand the security we are operating here, like I said, you know that we have a big issue. a big issue from the Jubilee House to my house.
Being under threat is also warranted on you being against what they are doing. They come at you when you try. So there's something called the Accra Initiative, which was done in 2017. It includes some of the West African countries, Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, and others. So the whole idea was to mitigate threats from the jihadists and the Islamic forces, that kind of thing. And right after they attacked Togo, attacked Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, and others, which we were part of. 2022, the latest one they did, resulted in attack in Burkina Faso. So 2021 rather, attack in Burkina Faso. So then it means that they are doing something that is against them, which we also did. So based on that, I just want to find out, have we done anything to initiate an attack on us?
Yeah, so it is in two forms. There are some that you can provoke them. Others, like I said, they have an agenda.
Okay.
So the idea is we want to make West Africa an Islamic state. That's the agenda.
Okay.
So here we don't need to provoke them.
Okay.
There's an agenda that they want to extend. And Ghana is part of West Africa. That's why our national security is alert. But on a more serious note, see, some of these information are proven from, so that's very difficult to bring it up. But you see, we've also allowed our politicians to destroy our security. I had a conversation with a top, one of these top military. You know, when this Abambabi, my honorable Speaker of Parliament, issue came with they withdrawing his military.
Security.
You know, I happened to call one of the big boss. The one who was in charge of the whole thing, the one who drew the letter withdrew, happens to be one of my students. I had the privilege to lecture him, so I called and said, what is happening? Now, some of the information that came indicated that we need military to even guard our borders. Unfortunately, we are short of men.
Wow.
Then the more serious issue is that now Ghanaian politicians, because of some of the things they did in the past, you see, security is part of political cards that they used to win. So coming from 92, you hear this women, killing of women and the rest, and then people by then were saying when you come to power, we are going. So security is part of political cards that in the Fourth Republic they've been using to win elections. So anytime there's insecurity, it gives the opposition that political cards, because if you don't feel secure, then the man who is supposed to be the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Force and the vice president who happens to be the chairman of Ghana Police Council, they don't have the money to be leadership because you can't protect us. So there is a case that it's a political issue. Now we don't have people to guard, but unfortunately, in order to create this insecurity, some of them are I call it created artificial creation. They use the media to create. When there's only one robbery or one murder issue, they blow it out of proportion to give impression that we are insecure.
It's so bad.
So over the year, that's what they've been doing, and that has also led. Anytime they do it, so you hear Prof. Mills in 2008 shouting, "Kenya will come to Ghana." Then there was war in Kenya, meaning I don't trust the security. Then later in 2012. Nana Akufo-Addo, then the candidate for NPP, also declared, "All die, be die," indicating I don't trust the security. And anytime this happens, what happens? Now their supporters come at the police. So they've spoken against the police. Now when we're talking about the police to another Ghanaian, the trust is not there. Now because they created this, you know what they're doing? They also don't even trust the police again. So every person at that level wants a military as a guard. So from the honorable speaker, EC chair, a special prosecutor, and some other Ghanaians, they are all using military now. Meanwhile, we don't have military to guard our borders. This is the situation we have now. When we are short of military, these people are not using them as bodyguards. We
saw during the election petition recently. Exactly, I was about to go there. Somebody was holding the bag of one lawyer.
I don't know. We are not in a military regime. Why should we be using military as your bodyguard? It's wrong. So if the honorable speaker and the rest are watching that, they should stop that. They should allow the military to go and work.
Thank you, Apostle. I think we should now delve into our main subject for the day, which is DNA and its psychological and emotional impacts. Apostle, I want to find out from you. Do you think an individual should seek counseling before going for a DNA test?
You see, Stephanie, with this issue of DNA, I believe it's something that is good. We are going to discuss it. But here's the case. Just recently, I had a conversation between two women, and one of them boldly said, in the past, I always feel so sad and upset when I hear that husband says, I want to do DNA, because it borders on the issue of trust. If Stephanie, you are married to a husband, you have kids, and your husband gets up and say, I want to go and do DNA, what he means is that I don't trust that the kids are mine. That's the point. Yeah. If you trust that the children are yours, will you even think of DNA in the first place? So it's an issue of trust. And trust is a glue that bonds relationship.
And if you don't trust the woman that the kids are yours, is DNA the only thing you should do to find out?
For now, that is the only option. For now, that's the only option. But here the issue, trust is a glue that bonds. And one thing about trust, a glue is that when you put a glue onto paper and you remove it, yes, you can stick it to another place, but it can't hold. So what it means is that the moment you do anything to break trust in a relationship, already the relationship is destroyed forever. Because like I say, imagine your husband comes to you and say, look, looking at this case, I don't think they are all my children.
Even so, the trust is still broken, even if he finds out that the kids.
Oh, it's two things. Yeah. If we go there and now the issue comes out, oh, they are your children, you, the woman, will fly full. Then please, I'm married to a wrong man. My husband doesn't trust me. When you go and it is proven that these children are not mine too, I say the same thing. Oh, okay, so it's true. It has been confirmed that you are cheating. What happens to the relationship? So the whole issue of DNA is another thing. But you see, so like I was saying, this conversation was going to do so much, but now I think I wouldn't be worried if my husband decided to go into DNA. Why? Just last year, a lady from Nigeria tweeted, I think she had an issue with her husband, and you know what she said? You are the one assuming the children are yours. Did you ever ask me whether the children are yours?
Wow.
There's a woman shamelessly telling the husband that you didn't ask me whether the children are yours. You are the one assuming. Do you expect your husband to come and ask you, Stephanie, this case mine?
Wow.
That's how shameless some ladies have got into. Aside from the issue you raised just recently to Nigeria, where a man went for DNA, a very popular man, and they had 4 children. Out of 2 of them were not the children of the father or the man. So this is the case we have now. As for Ghana, he already quoted, I don't want to go there.
What is the stand of the church? You being a part of the body of Christ, what do you advise? Should, let's say, a married couple come to see you?
The question is, why have you gotten to this stage? The Bible speaks, if the foundation is destroyed, what can the righteous do? To me, the church has failed in many ways. Do you know that today, chastity or saying as a virgin is not something that we need?
It's not a church virtue anymore.
Definitely. So the foundation is built. Look, I always tell people, if you buy this phone, a brand new phone, and you see on the manual the written, don't put this phone in water. The manufacturer knows what he's telling you that. He knows how he built the phone. He knows what can happen when you put the phone. That's what he's telling you. This phone is not water resistant, so don't put it in water. So when Stephanie, you end up putting in water, and now you can't switch on the phone, you blame the manufacturer. Have you asked yourself why God, who created you as a woman, created you as a man, will now go to that extent telling you don't have sex before marriage? Have you asked yourself that person? He's a manufacturer. He created you. He knows you more than any other person. He knows what that thing can do to you. And he's warning you to have a better marriage. Don't have sex before you marry. That foundation has been broken. And whenever the foundation is broken, it degenerates to all issues. That's why we are now at this issue of mistrust. Like I said, nobody will think of DNA when you trust that these kids are mine in the first place. So the moment you are talking about whether to check the paternity of my children or not, it means there's a problem.
If I should play the devil's advocate a little bit, would there be a society, even if we were supposed to listen to what God says or inscribed in the Bible that don't have sex before marriage, would there be a society where we can have people, because you blame the church having failed? You think that we could possibly have a society where people will live without having sex before marriage? Is it even possible?
In currently, people are doing it. So it's not like whether it's possible.
The percentage is negligible. The percentage is negligible
because it keeps on reducing. Well, I said that's the channel, because in the past, when you don't marry as a chaste woman or don't marry as a virgin, even the kind of stigmatization, how people will even look at you. But today, all those things are not there. I think most people are now getting married, or you have wedding and the woman is already pregnant, and the pastor is there.
We ignore our culture.
So aside culture, the church also have a role to play. That's what I say. A pastor can now put a wed couples and know whether this woman is even pregnant. Meanwhile, we have a system in place. We have doctrines that forbid some of this. But what's happening? I want my members. I don't want to lose members. Because now we want to do what the people want, but not what God wants us to do. That's where we are now. So all these issues, we are not discussing it at the foot level. But to check, you need to go back to the root. You can't destroy anything until the root is destroyed. If you cut a tree, as long as the root is this in the soil, it can still grow. And that's where we are now. So I'm saying that, see, the whole issue of DNA is a big issue, because like I said, the moment you go, it doesn't matter how it turns us, that can say, I said, when we two over here, whether it proves that the children are yours, there will be a problem in the marriage. Whether it proves that the kids are not yours, there will be a problem in the marriage. So DNA has never been a solution. I get it, because it can never bring back the relationship, no matter the outcome. It can never.
So in the case where we both agree, let's say a couple, man and wife agree that, okay, it's okay to just do it. It's an agreement between the two of us. We go do it and we get to know that indeed the kids are ours.
Right.
Well, that's, you think still that
will depend on the reason. Let me outline this. In our part of the world, we have serious issues. One, baby switch. We have issues where you can even give birth to a child, and yes, you can switch your baby. If that's a reason, so as a couple, it's okay. The woman, before we take this child from the hospital, let's do a DNA to confirm whether it's our children. Not that I don't trust you, the wife.
Exactly.
Now I'm thinking perhaps you are going to cheat. But the moment you now put the blame on the woman that because I don't trust you, then you're not solving a problem. You're already there to create a problem. But if the discussion is on the fact that, look, we have issues in our hospitals. Because some of the doctors have been arrested recently. Are you getting the nurses are even all manner of things are happening. You can give birth to a baby boy, and because somebody wants a baby boy, give birth to a girl, they come and switch it. It happens every day. Are you getting? So if that's a reason, then no problem. But the moment the reason is on the fact that I don't trust. But you see, there's I don't know, you can do there's a research. This is something when I was just after SS, it just dawned on me. But I heard that a conversation about it that most firstborns are not.
Exactly, that was the research I was going to get into. About 40%.
No, 75%.
Oh, rather. Okay, I thought 40%. Most firstborns are not their fathers.
I was sure to Google and find out that this thing is real. About 75% of firstborns
are not their real.
Yes, are children to their father. To those that they are calling their father or fathers, now they are not their fathers. Are you getting
Exes come to play.
And you see, personally, like I said, it don't know when I just after SS, I like doing research, so I was doing my informal research. So I kept asking ladies. You know, one of the reasons most ladies keep multiple sex partners. Are you getting? They date multiple men. And
As a goal?
Yes. It depends on the temperament. I know how you're feeling, but it's not normal because your temperament also is part. Now watch it. So I think I had a conversation with some of the ladies, and some of the things that they brought up is that, well, I have these guys, and none of them is showing commitment. So I don't want to waste my time with any of them. So right now, I have them. If anyone comes up, then I can marry any of them. So they keep it because they don't trust any of them to marry them. Are you getting that one thing? One of the unfortunate things that is also a problem in Africa is that we have, a man who comes to you, the lady, and it tells you, my family wants a baby before I can get married to you. It's an issue, yes. They tell you, my parents or my family say they want to, but they want to check the fertility of the woman. Especially those who come from royal families. I need my children to take after me. So these are issues. So now if you are the woman and you are in a relationship with this man that you love so much, and he comes to tell my family wants a baby. And something unfortunately in our part of the world, infertility issue looks to feminism. It's unfortunate.
Yes.
They think that a man cannot be infertile. That's a big problem. So now we want to check how fertile you are.
And should you do that through sex?
That's unfortunate.
That's the only option.
I mean, can't they medically check something that
that's what I'm saying. They've made it a woman thing. They made it a woman thing. And as a woman, they want you to give birth to prove that you are indeed fertile. So that is another problem in Africa. That's why when you check firstborns. So now if I love you and we have perhaps, you see, we have different things that moves us into relationship. Some can be true, personality, money, and other things. So now you've gone into this relationship and you feel like, wow, I need this man. And this is a condition. Most men will do, most men out of desperation can do anything. And that's one of the main factors. So most women go out there and bring children. Another issue is that most women don't break up with their exes well. You know, they
don't break up well.
Well, in the fact that some of the issues they use as reason to break up.
Clear the issues.
For instance, Stephanie, you're in a relationship, and the reason is that your mom says she doesn't like this man. Meanwhile, you love him.
Yeah.
So you're not breaking because the man has done something wrong. It's external pressure. So the love is there, the affection is there. And now somebody comes in, yes, you want to marry. This is one of the major problems now. So the woman now can be in marriage and still having an affair somewhere. Now gets married, gets pregnant, and because she's married now, of course she can't come and say, this child is not yours, so you are my husband. So it's a big problem, which, like I said, the church, we have a role to play. It starts from teaching, educating our women. An average Christian on around don't even know the true implication of sex. I tell people, when you have sex with a woman, you are not married to, according to the Bible. Can we Proverbs chapter 23, verse 27? The Bible speaks, any woman that you are not married to, if you would sleep with her, you are burying yourself because she's a pit. So for her, her lot is a deep pit. So if you're a woman and no man, you see, let me quickly say this, and I've said it on this platform several times. Every woman has 3 major roles to play. Every woman. To be a successful, to impact your generation, you must be a wife. And a wife means you don't have to marry to be a wife. No. That's why the Bible can tell you, he who finds a wife, finds a... So you must be a wife to be found. How? You must have the conviction, the understanding that, as the Bible says in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 7, that a wife does not have authority over her own body by the husband, which means no man has the right to see my nakedness except my husband. So until someone is bold enough, a man enough to marry me, no matter how I love that man, he has no right to see my nakedness. So most women today having sex around, what they're actually doing is that they're breaking their role as a wife. So you marry and you are not even a wife, because you've already broken the foundation. It's your foundation. That's why. So check it. Most of these women who cheat are those who had sex before they married. Check all those women who were virgins and they had sex, they went into marriage. Therefore, you have nothing to compare. And here you want to say, I'm not satisfied, my husband cannot satisfy. You can't hear that from a woman who was a virgin before marriage. So
how about you have sex with the man and then you end up marrying the same man?
Like I said, it's a spiritual thing. That's another education altogether. Like I said, sex to a woman you're not married to, spiritually, you've already... That's why today many people are in a relationship, they want to marry and they have one issue, and because spiritually you've broken the foundation. It's a hedge around, there's a spiritual hedge around all of us. So when you break it, just like having a garden and now there's no hedge, any animal can enter. So every issue can enter. You plan to marry her, then either your mother or somebody close to you, you postpone the marriage. You plan her, so when your life will be full of disappointment, you've already broken the foundation. This is how the issue happens. So biblical. Of course, this is a spiritual thing. And you see, sex is the only thing that affects you psychologically, spiritually, physically, emotionally. It affects your full self as a person. It's so deep.
Apostle, you said 3 things about it. We mentioned the wife material.
Yeah, so a woman needs to be a wife. I
want to know.
When you see why women today are afraid, but most of these are breaking. Let's also quickly say this. Do you know that when you check the Bible, divorce was basically always initiated by a man? You know why? Most of the women were married as virgins. The way God designed women, they are a private parties connected to their brains because of childbirth. So that whenever you have contraction during childbirth, your brain controls. Are you getting it? Yeah, so they can deliver. So when you have sex and you enjoy it, it enters you. Also, you see a woman, this man is not even good for you. What? Because you have sexual time and you enjoyed it, you can't let the man go. You are so attached to this one. Yes, the man has entered your mind and your heart. God is so wise, so he created, you know how he created you. So you having sex, you are destroying your own self. So this man, you know it's not good for you, but you can't let him go. Why? Because of sex. If you enjoy the sex, that's why when a woman don't enjoy sex with you, you can bring the whole world to her. She will not marry you. Sex to a woman is a different thing.
Yeah.
Sex to a woman is a different thing. So God is wise to tell you, don't have sex. Are you getting? Now the point is, so whenever a woman is not satisfied in sex in marriage, you see that about 90% is sexual issue. That's what today. So I tell people most of the divorce cases initiated by women are sex related. A woman can stay with any issue in a marriage except sex when she's not satisfied. Wow. So when you stay as a virgin and you have no alternative, you've never tested anything, your husband only is the only thing you know, it's very difficult for a woman to leave a relationship. So that's what today we check. Most women are now initiating divorce. I can't marry again. I can't marry again. I don't love me again. Check it. About 90% they are sex related. So today, if you see the divorce is rising.
Sorry, I say it's kind of home.
No, see, ask any woman. Ask any woman. Women, when they are satisfied in a relationship, you may not even, you know, some women are even taking care of their men.
Oh, yeah, I know that, yeah.
So that should tell you something. Let me even say that you got something back. Money attracts a woman, but money don't keep a woman. That's if the money keep a woman, then that's why we will not divorce him.
Even Jeff Bezos' wife would also get divorced.
So most men are not educated, but they assume it's all about money. So we think of making the money and leave other issues. Money just attracts. There are things that keeps a woman. Perhaps we should come back for that education.
Okay.
There are things that keeps a woman. Okay. Money just attracts. As for money, it attracts all kinds of women. But to keep a woman, for a woman, so a woman, money will bring a woman to you, but not let a woman be with you. So a woman, you can marry a woman, give her the houses and the car, and she'll still be sleeping around. Oh yes.
She said the egg game when I say
God is wise. God knows the thing. God knows the thing that keeps a woman and the thing that attracts a woman.
Okay.
So God now is preparing. That's why you hear people say, "I'm preaching the thing about it." And I said, "Of course, that's why people have made it." Yeah. If somebody is so immature to marry you, and yet you allow him to be enjoying things mature men enjoy or should enjoy, what else will push him to go and marry you? So he's enjoying that relationship. So quickly, I mentioned the wife issue. Yeah. So the second one, the woman needs to be a mother.
Okay. You
see, the womb that women have is not only for conceiving and giving birth. It's a spiritual